Auction time. This is the 7M series auction. 7M01. This is a leaf-shaped blade made from heat-treated Georgia chert or Georgia swirl chert. Coastal plains. In other words, from Georgia. Coastal plains chert. And it's a bit crunchy. But the heat treating, the heat treating makes a big difference. Yeah. Semi-translucent. I only had 2 pieces of this, and I sold the other one in the last auction. And this is the last one. It doesn't have the green in it like the other one did. It's just got a little bit of, maybe a slight bit of green, but it's hard to tell. Yeah, it is crunchy in that area. This side napped a little bit easier, but it's inconsistent, right? This up here is a little bit easier to nap than this down here, but it still gets a little bit crunchy. What is the size of it? Let's see. 4 15/16, almost 5 inches. By 2 inches wide. Yeah, 5 by 2. Perfect. Yeah, that size is good. Once it starts getting larger than this, it gives me a lot of stress when I try to thin it down. This is sharpened all the way around. Okay? Sharp edge. Alrighty. 7M02, an obsidian art point. Yeah, it's got expanding notches and this base that kind of goes along with the notching. Yeah. There are arrowheads like this in the archaeological record, but not this size. They're small. Yeah. This is a buttery type of obsidian. I think I got this from Alan Cole. Very difficult to nap. If it starts to act up, trying to do damage control on it is very difficult. As long as each flake is removed initially in a manner that is nice and smooth, the further flakes, or the flakes that come after, are going to be much easier to run in a smooth manner also. But if it starts to get crunchy, like right in that area, it's extremely difficult to uncrunch it. You know what I mean? Anyway, what is the size of this? 4 3/4. Yeah. Let's see. Width? 2 inches. Yeah. Now, there are similar points like this in the archaeological record. I just don't know if there's one like this, of this size. So I'm calling it an art point. It is sharp all the way around. Okay, the base might not be that sharp, but I removed all the dull areas. So, I mean, it is fairly sharp. I tried to not crush the inside of those notches, but it was a little bit difficult. As it gets thick, it gets difficult to, remove flakes without crunching it. It is difficult to get sharp, but it's not too bad. Yeah, I've tried to sharpen obsidian that's much worse than this. Yeah. Okay. Sharpened all the way around. It's not translucent, I don't think. It might have some translucency. Let's see. Yeah, it is banded. But it's mostly translucent around the edges only. Okay. 7M03. Heat treat Buffalo River, but this has got a little bit of a deeper orange color, kind of, sort of. Yeah, the color is really nice on this. I made a leaf-shaped blade out of it, and I said, I think it would probably be worth more if I actually made something out of it. So, but I don't know if to call this an art point or what. Probably so. But I have started the beveling. Okay. There's no beveling on that side, just on this one side, okay? Nothing on the right. The beveling is on the left. Just barely starting. So it does not have much of a twist in it. Okay? It is sharpened all the way around. It's nice and sharp. Even down here, although there's some dull spots. The notches got kind of crunchy. Yep. I wanted to leave it kind of thick so I could see nice pop-outs. But as you can see, the nice pop-outs turned into nice crunchy spots. Yeah, it's hard to get nice pop-outs with this. That one popped out okay on this side. Yeah, if I get lucky, I can get a nice pop-out like that, as long as it doesn't remove one of the barbs. See how it almost did? It almost dove in there and took off that barb. This is heat-treated Buffalo River, if I hadn't mentioned it. A little over 3 1/4 by almost 2 inches. Yeah, I like this color. And it napped fairly well. Yeah, easy to sharpen. Buffalo River is easy to sharpen compared to the obsidian I just showed. Yeah. 7M04. This is a Clovis I made on video. Yeah, heat treat Buffalo River. You can see the difference in colors. The Buffalo River ranges in colors. Yeah. So this is like a Western style Clovis. I used to have a cast that looked a lot like this of a Clovis from Texas. And what I did, if you watch the video, is I made the thinning flakes or the flutes first and then kind of napped around them. All right, so the side flakes intrude into the flutes. Okay, it's not the other way around, where a lot of modern nappers like to create the outside profile and create a central ridge or something, and then flute down that central ridge so the flute is over the top of the side flakes. Well, this is the opposite. The side flakes are over the top of the flutes, which is how I see, or how I saw the way they made it with the cast that I used to have from a Texas style Clovis. Okay, Texas style Clovis looked like it had the side flakes over the top of the flute, and it was relatively thick. Yeah, right. So that's what I did on this one. I'm familiar with that style. I've made quite a few in this style. Let's see, 3 3/8 or thereabouts. Yeah, and it's not perfectly pointy, but that's on purpose. The Clovises were not perfectly pointy. Not all of them. So it's very straight here in the hafting area, but everywhere else it's kind of wonky, and that's how I noticed the Clovises were that I had casts of. Okay, it's a reproduction, but I made it on video. 7M05. This one I probably started on video. I don't know if I can't remember if I actually started this biface on video. It's a Georgia swirl chert, translucent. Yeah, it's now a Dalton. It started off as a potential Clovis, but then I was not able to get long flutes, I suppose, and then became a Dalton. Because all you need for a Dalton is short thinning flakes from the base. Yeah. Very sharp all the way around. It's still a little bit jaggedy, but it is ground down at the base. Okay, and this is a typical size for a real Dalton. 3 1/8 by inch and a half, inch and a quarter. Yeah. So these two are pretty much the size of real ones. Okay. So this is a reproduction Dalton, but I don't know if they made the Daltons out of this stuff, this Georgia chert, coastal plains. I think they did. Yeah, just not sure. 7M06. This is a piece of Texas heat treat mystery chert. So I went ahead and made a point that you could find in Texas or across the border into Mexico. It's semi-translucent. The colors are interesting. It's got a crystal pocket there. It's like a Charcos point, but the notches are not quite right. So it's more like an artistic rendering of the Charcos type point. Yeah, artistic rendering. I wish there was some red in this, but it looks like it's mostly yellows and browns. And a little bit of orange. Yeah, mystery heat treat. I don't know where I got it from. I don't know if I heat treated it myself or what. It doesn't resemble anything like Tecovas or Alabates. This nap's totally different. It napped fairly easy. Yeah. All right. I did that all off camera. 7M07. We got another Clovis from Flint River Chert from Georgia. Now, this one I did do most of it on video, but I finished it out off camera. Yeah, I finished it off camera. Nice and translucent and thin. Thin is not typical of Clovis points. Clovis points are usually robust, like this one. Okay, not thin. They're usually like this. This one is a reproduction. Not exact, of course, but you know what I mean. This one is more like an artistic rendering of a Simpson type Clovis. Yeah, with a nice pointy tip. Now, this was an exception to Clovis's. This one has actually, this style in the archaeological record does have really pointy tips. And a thin or a constriction here that's more pronounced than other Clovis points. This side looks pretty good on the flute, but that side, I couldn't get it. Even when I tried to pressure flake some flakes into that area to clean that out, I ended up creating more step fractures with the pressure flakes. Yeah. But other than that, it worked out pretty good. A little over 3 1/4. Now, just fair warning, these things look bigger in my hands than they actually are. Okay? 1 3/8. So when you get it, it's probably going to look smaller. Same goes with all the other points. Like the previous one. This one might look big to you. If you got a wide spread on your hand, you're going to go, oh, that's about 4 inches wide, long. No, it's not. It's only 2 and a little over 2 5/8. Okay, so just be aware. It looks bigger on video and bigger in my hand because I have small hands. Okay, so just be aware. I always have to mention, or I try to mention that, because I have had people say, hey, it shrank on the way over. I don't know what happened. Yeah. 7M08. A Clovis Attempt. Yeah. I can't remember if I did this on video or partly on video or what. I don't remember. Nice and translucent. Georgia chert. I think this one is raw. Yeah. So just very simple. Simple thinning flakes from the base. And there's sequential flaking, somewhat sequential. So it looks kind of like a Dalton almost. I mean, it could be either a Dalton or a Clovis or just a hybrid between the two. You know what I mean? It is sharp. The edge is straight compared to the reproduction. This one is more like a real Clovis with jaggedy edges and wonky, not straight edge. This one I made more regular and kind of jaggedy, like a Dalton almost. Yeah, it's very much like a Dalton. Yeah. Okay. Last but not least, 7M09 is a box of broken bifaces. Okay, so what do we got? We got 3 bifaces and a couple brokes. Now, you saw me. No? Did you see me break this on video? No, this was a highly disappointing break. This is Knife River Flint. Okay. It's very similar to root beer in color and translucency, but it naps a little bit differently. Not too much differently. So if you saw me nap Knife River on video, and then I napped root beer, and I didn't tell you which one was which, you probably couldn't tell. You probably couldn't tell that this was Knife River because it's very similar to root beer chert from Texas. Yeah, but it is Knife River. KRF. Make sure I mark it because I get confused also. Yeah, highly disappointing break. I was going to make a nice little knife. Yeah. Out of Knife River. This one was an attempt at a Clovis. Yeah. But sometimes that happens, especially when I start the week or start off my Clovis adventures. Get a snap. I think this was a raw piece. Georgia chert. These are intact blades, but they're not finished. Yeah, they're refined somewhat, and this is kind of sharp up here, but the rest of it is not sharpened on this piece. What is the length of this piece? This is 4 7/8. This one is almost 4 inches exactly, a little bit over. This was 4 1/4. Okay, so this is banded obsidian from Alan Cole. I just got that batch, and I was trying to make something out of it, but I ran out of time. It's the same kind of banded looking stuff as the other one. You know, as item number 2 is also banded, kind of a buttery obsidian, but this one is a lot harder to nap. Yeah, and it also crushes very easily along the edges. So it's not sharpened. There's some dull spots from the braiding, but I managed to thin it down, and I would not take it much thinner than that. I mean, you could probably get that bulb out of there, but that's about it. Yeah. You can try to get that bulb out, but I wouldn't thin it much thinner than that, if any. Just get that one bulb out, and then you're good. This is heat-treated Buffalo River. I was going to make something out of it, but I ran out of time. I like working this stuff, especially because the flake scars show up really good on it. It is what I call a refined biface, but I didn't finish sharpening any of these. So these are just refined, thinned to where I think I should stop. Same with this one. I think, that's about as thin as I want to go. This is a raw piece. This is heat treated, and of course obsidian is just obsidian. So yeah, I take it down as thin as I dare to, and then I call that good. And then I refine the edges, so to speak, which means I make them more even and regular, take out the lumps, but I have not sharpened it. Same thing here. I thin it down as thin as I want to go. I made the edges straight, but I did not do the final sharpening. Now up here near the tip, it is kind of sharp. I usually start at the tip with the sharpening. The same is true in all of these. It is somewhat sharp, but it's not that sharp. Okay? All right. So just be aware. Sometimes I do sharpen up the bifaces in a box of bifaces, but I'll tell you, right? These are not sharpened. Okay. Rules. Okay, these are just a short version of the rules. I'm using these little note cards. Okay. There will be an auction here every Monday. I will post the auction video at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, I'll try to get it post it at 4 p.m. Sometimes I might be late. And it will end at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Every time. That I won't be late on. Okay? You bid in the comment section. If you're not able to post a comment, you will not be able to participate in the auction. You bid under one or more of my pre-populated comments. Please include the item number if you're not sure you placed your bid in the correct place. Okay? Kind of self-explanatory. Try not to bid at the last minute. I'm using YouTube's time tracker and it's not always accurate. Okay, just fair warning. Okay, I reserve the right to call the winner as I see fit in any case. Right? Okay, so there's been issues where it's been very close and people have been bidding at the last minute. And sometimes YouTube says you're late, even though you and I both know you're on time. But I got to use a time tracker that everybody sees. So that's why I use YouTube's time tracker. All right? Okay. Look at my previous auctions to see how they work. If you have questions, you can email me or post your questions in the comments section. So my email is jackcrafty2@gmail.com. All right. There is a description of the auction in the description box. I also post this short video clip every time in case you don't like reading. Yeah. There will be a hard close of the auction at 9 p.m. Eastern time. It depends on your time zone, though. It ends at 8 if you're on Central Time, 7 if you're on Mountain Time, and 6 if you're on Pacific Time. Make sure you account for your time zone. Okay? All right. I will begin announcing winners 1 minute after the top of the hour. It may take me up to 45 minutes to announce all the winners, though. Okay, so give me some time to announce all the winners. I will start at 1 minute after the top of the hour because I refresh the comment section to make sure I see everyone's comment and I know what time they bid. Okay. I will hit the heart button if you win. This is the only notification you will receive. There is no private messaging in YouTube. And I will not hunt you down on Facebook or anything like that to announce that you are the winner. I will put a heart on the winning bid. I will heart it or love it or whatever it's called. Okay? All right. As a last resort, I can bid for you if you contact me before the auction ends. However, I will not bid for you closer than 5 minutes prior to closing. Okay? So keep that in mind. Again, my email is jackcrafty2@gmail.com. You can email me if you're having trouble. You can bid as many times as you like. I will only charge you the amount that beats the next highest bidder. This helps to prevent sniping. Okay, so if you're not sure what that means, just look at previous auctions. You'll see that some guys bid a lot toward the end of the auction. They start putting in bids at the last minute just so someone won't snipe them for like $2. You know what sniping is, right? If you don't, then I don't know what to tell you. Let's see. Did I skip one? No. I will hit the like button if and when I see your bid. It may take me a while, but as the time approaches the closing, I check more frequently. Okay, so this is how you know that I'm seeing your bids or comments. I will hit the like button. Okay, this is very important, especially if you're new. If you suspect that your comments or bids are not being seen, try asking if I see your comments bids. You ask in the comment section. If I don't respond, I can't see your comments or bids. All right, pretty obvious. So if I can't see your comments or bids, you got to try something else, like restart your phone or use someone else's phone or get on your computer to try to bid or, send me an email. Figure out what's going on because it's usually on your end, right? Yeah. So just try different methods to try to get your comments visible. Shipping is free in the U.S. International shipping is discounted but not free. Okay? Free in the U.S., but international shipping is not free. It's $10 extra for a light package, 1 pound or less, and $20 extra if it's heavier than that. Okay? So your international shipping is discounted, but it's not free. Shipping is free in the U.S. I ship all items through the U.S. Post Office. I will always provide tracking numbers. I will issue refunds if requested. Oh, yes. If you are the winner and you're new, you'll need to email me your name, your address, and preferred method of payment. Or you can ask me what I prefer. I usually prefer PayPal, but I have different payment methods that I use. I accept Venmo, Cash App, PayPal.me, Zelle. Okay, just we'll arrange this in the emails. Okay. Okay, that's it for the cheat notes. Good luck, everybody.